Hey guys, wanted to go ahead and do a review of the Letshuoer S08, a re-review because there's some new information that's kind of come in and I kind of want to do this in the new format because the old video was done in the old format. So yeah. Okay, before I go on further, I'm going to go ahead and put some notes on the screen. Please note that whatever is in the notes is different from what's in the video. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the Letshuoer S08. So I had a lot of trouble actually explaining what this IM sounds like, and it actually makes sense because when I actually check a lot of other reviewers, they're all saying different things. So Prime Audio Reviews, he calls this U-shaped.
Alright, they have a, what would you call it? Maybe a U-shaped sound signature.
Practiphile calls this L-shaped.
It's more of like, so the tonality on this is more of like an L shape.
Audio Amigos calls it just warm. And then Super Reviews, he calls it pretty much warm and soupy. And it's weird because the way he describes a Letshuoer S08 is actually how I would describe the Juicier Harrier. So I find that kind of it's just weird. Now to me, I actually find this IM, it's unfair for me to call it warm. I mean, but it is warm. But I feel like it's actually probably closer to U-shaped or L-shaped. And because there is actually a little bit of brightness in it. You know, when I listen, it's not dulled down to me. There is clarity in it, but at the same time, it's definitely warm, slanted, right? But anyway, let's get right into it. All right, so let's start with the first thing. Let's talk bass. I would give this a ranking of A for bass. The bass has got kick, it's got punch, it is really well executed, it is not muddy. The other thing I want to talk about is sub bass. Let the music play. So the sub bass is actually closer to Above Correct and Beats by Dre. It is very exaggerated. It is not correct. It is not neutral. It is definitely way up here. I'm struggling to decide whether it's more Beats by Dre or Above Correct, but it's definitely kicking when it comes to sub bass. Female vocals, I would actually give this a ranking of A. And actually, that's one of the things I was noticing when I was checking the notes, was that I was like, dude, this sounds good. What the heck? Like, so when I listened to it, and I actually looked at my old notes, and I remember I actually did say that this was actually pretty good. So I would say female vocals are an A. In terms of instrument harshness, as in, like, I would check some songs that are really, really harsh with instruments. This is actually quite pleasant. It's actually able to handle really harsh and really super sibilant tracks with no problems. Okay, next thing. Male vocals. I would actually rank this male vocals a grade of A. So I'm floored because the IM has really good bass. It's got great vocals for male and female vocals. Really well done. Now, on the monitoring test, which is, I get it, it's subjective, but in my opinion, it's a helpful data point. What I do is I wear the IM, then I speak into a neutral microphone, and I listen back, what's it doing to my voice? So what is it doing to my voice? My voice sounds warmer and more like just darker, like a ribbon microphone, like it's like a Shure SM7B, it's like darker and warmer. That's what it's doing. That's what it's doing to male vocals. I noticed Justin's voice, he sounds a little bit warmer, a little bit lower pitched. I noticed that the guy vocals are a little bit lower and warmer pitched. So that's what, but the weird thing, and this is important and it's really strange, is that female vocals do not get higher pitched. They just sound full. So it seems like if I had to draw a Richter scale, female vocals sound nice and full, but they don't sound husky. But then male vocals sound warm and dark and a little bit kind of more deeper. So that's kind of an interesting thing about this IEM. Okay, The soundstage on here I thought was pretty good, but not great. Sibilance.
Mike Tyson is called the baddest man on the planet for a reason.
Sun is down, freezing cold. That's how we already know.
Lots of all time can be found in season 7, episode 6 of Seinfeld.
I want to clarify this. When you listen to very, very harsh tracks, right? You want to get an IM that doesn't sound harsh when you listen to it. Okay, that you're missing the point. When an IM is not harsh and sibilance on those tracks, that's a good thing. You do not want an IM that sounds really harsh and sibilant. Anyway, let's get back to the point. What does this do? So in my old review, what I said was I only had one column. I only had regular volume. But in my new review, I have regular volume and then I have plus 25% above regular volume. So what happens? At regular volume, you're getting no sibilance on this thing at all, pretty much. But when you crank it up, you're only getting up to about medium in terms of sibilance. So this is actually very, very, I would say, just now. This wasn't low or zero on the plus 25%, but I would say it's when it comes to sibilance. Like, are you going to get a lot of sibilance? Are you going to get a lot of harsh peaks on this IM? No, it's pretty tame. And that may have a direct translation to when other reviewers that really hone in on treble are saying that this IM is a little bit kind of tame when it comes to treble. And that might actually be the case. Okay. Now, the comfort on this was dreadful. Absolutely terrible. Now, I was using the K-Bear 7 ear tips, and I found it sounded the best on the K-Bear 7 ear tips, but these were it was really, really uncomfortable. And I'm wondering whether that's actually the reason I stopped listening to these, is because they're not comfortable. And it's funny because I saw Practophile's review, and he mentioned that what he did was he used Divinous Velvets, which in my opinion add a lot to comfort. That might be the bright play. Okay, last thing I want to talk about is let's break it down. Like, if I was going to actually describe what this sounds like, what do I think it sounds like?
Do you see a slot that would fit
the semicircle?
Semicircle?
The semicircle.
That's right. It's the square hole.
I got it now. I got it. This is what it is. It's a warm IEM that has bass and kick, but it's got great vocals, but it's got a little bit of clarity in it. It's got some clarity, so it's not just a warm IEM and that's it. It's a warm IEM with some clarity, and it's got some kick in the bass, and the vocals are nice and full. Which, yeah, I think that's not an unfair comparison. But what do you call that? It is certainly, what I did was I put it in, this was in my L-shaped, W-shaped box. And maybe that kind of fits here. I feel like Keyfine Clean is kind of L-shaped, W-shaped. I feel like RDT10 is kind of L-shaped, W-shaped. Keyfine stuff are kind of, so maybe it's in that category. I don't know. You know what I mean? But that's what I would call it.